Thank you, Madam Chair. And this would be for any of you. I wanted to talk to you about a specific situation that has arisen recently, and that is that over 1,000 National Guard members from Indiana, that's my home state, 570 of them were preparing to deploy to the Horn of Africa this month. 446 preparing to deploy to Egypt in June. Others preparing to deploy as well. Were just off-ramped and notified that they were being replaced by active component forces. This is the only state that this has happened to. 2 of these units it's happened to less than 6 weeks from deployment date. Now, these are people who canceled leases, quit jobs, took extraordinary steps in their life to prepare to get things squared away. This off-ramp has been extraordinarily painful to them, to their families, and I know that there was a policy put in place that was, okay, we won't do this unless somebody's at least over 120 days out. And that was after this occurred because these folks were 6 weeks away. Over 1,000 soldiers and their families will lose TRICARE in 4 days, 4 days from today. 142 of the soldiers that re-enlisted and were offered bonuses because they're going on a deployment. So they're being terminated. And then they're going to be asked to re-enlist, but there'll be no bonus included with them as they do. 60 of the soldiers left their employment. Others were denied a job due to the short time between now and the mobilization date where they couldn't get a job. And some went back and their employer had already hired and been training a replacement for them. A number had terminated housing leases. And so we have no objection in Indiana to doing our share, to taking our share of the hit. But this is over and above what took place. And so what we're asking for is just it is not much. And in terms of the pain and the suffering that these families are going through, it is next to nothing. But this is the Hoosier way. They said, look, we're willing to take a shot. We're willing to stand up for our country and help out and reduce costs. Can you help us with a couple things? Number one, continue the bonus that they were promised. That's not much. It's a $500 a month bonus. It's total of less than $1 million at the end of the day. Enable these soldiers to have 180 days of additional TRICARE because in 4 days, they are off of TRICARE. And so these are minimal things that are really, in my mind, keeping our promise. I spoke to Senator Hagel, Secretary Hagel now, and one of the things he's always said, people are central to everything we do. Well, it's time for us to show that in this case. And I'd like a comment from any of you.
So I understand completely. My last job was Adjutant General of Pennsylvania. So I know General Umberger very well and know...
he is not in a good mood.
You know, I can only imagine. I've spoken to him. I know Marty. And rightly, he should not be in a good mood. This was done for financial reasons, but we need to take care of the soldiers that it was done to. I know that the Army is working through the Guard Bureau with General Umberger. There are a group of those soldiers that were catastrophically harmed because of this. There are some of those soldiers that may think this is okay. If there are 1,000, there's people in all categories. But our job is to take a look at all of the requests that you gave Secretary Hagel and to get back to you about where we go from here and how we can affect these soldiers' life for the betterment.
Okay, I am here to try to make sure that this is made right because what was done is not.
Yes, sir, and I know how terribly difficult it was, not only on the soldier, because it was very hard on the soldier, but on the family members of these soldiers.
Okay. We will stay in very close contact with you on that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.